Welcome to our lovely future humans, to the 5D Collective. Let's chit chat a little bit more from this 5D Mystic to you about the difference between those who are spiritual masters, enlightened ones, and let me think, the ones who are not living magical thinking, shadow and light on a screen, and basically what is called self-righteous, contemptuous, and trauma charges. So using the intuitive gifts, clairs, ascension, the entire topic of the spiritual mystic plane, 3D, 4D, and I'm just organizing it for purposes of the IHP community. Don't write down, it's not rules. What I have noticed since I've been ascending, since like 2005, I was downloading before it, I just didn't know it, but is that the individuals who continue to say that they have their third eye blocked when they were witches, yeah, they still have it blocked now. So while they like to think that light enlightening is the proper use of their embodied brain alongside what they're supposed to be, messengers, not really. So this does deal with love. Let me get to love over soul. Your soulmates, your twin flames, family souls. Okay, so the other way, 3D, 4D has shown they don't actually channel in the way of using a prefrontal cortex. That's why they're in magical thinking. I have technical verbiage for you. Scientists explain it. Science, spirituality come together. I bring the human elements so that you can understand. There's hypocrites like my facade friend. They're emotionally immature people. They're all in one little box over here. And then we have the one little box over here of emotionally mature people. The difference is we don't need boxes to keep each other far apart. I can differentiate when I'm around anyone, and especially the ones who suffer life, because I don't suffer it from here, from here, from here. And when you meet insecure men, women, from the day you were a kid, and you're like, why are you being mean on purpose by pretending? I see you're not mean on purpose because you're mean. You're just insecure and afraid. Unhealthy fear. Trying to give you technical verbiage. Unhealthy fear are people who will use figures such as angels, which by the way have changed since the way back when they would draw them like monsters kind of deal. Now they have wings and all that. So the ones who are teenager versions of themselves adapt to child parts. That's why it's magical thinking. It's also why they're the spiritual bypassers. So they're using the light and shadow words, and they just, it's might as well use, I don't know, Snow White, Cinderella. That's why I use different stories, so we can actually tease people without being so mean to the extent of actually labeling monsters that they're not. Because really, I did believe that the devil was a real thing when I got taught it. And at 20, I said, hey, God, so listen, I don't see Lucifer. And I remember clearly as I was telling him this, I felt a little bit of guilt because I had been taught by others that they are the only people who know the word of God. And I'm like, they're hurting children physically, emotionally, mentally. They keep hurting grown-ups. They don't allow us to just be grown-ups, like monoamory, polyamory. Really, you're going to use words to define love? I mean, come on. How many people don't know how to use words differently? Okay, so when you are a person who has two sides of the brain, the integrated brain, this is what you see in front of you. It's called an emotionally intelligent and a mentally intelligent person who knows that I'm physically intelligent because I am aware that I'm aging. And as my 5D Mystic Skeptic Nutritionist Diary shows, have you ever struggled with taking advice that you don't think you need, but that might be right for you, and you really don't want to do it, but you're probably going to do it? You might be a little bit right and a little bit wrong, and that's how life works. We can work it out. We can work it out. Life is very short, and there's no time. Yes, so when people are dehumanizing human beings that you know, and you're a person who knows what Jesus said and how he walked, and Buddha, man, come on, again, you sat under a tree, but I get it. I know what you're serving. So once you understand, technically speaking, ventral vagal portfolio toning exercises, thanks Buddha with the yoga, and then the integration of the brain comes from meditation, which you can do walking. You understand that those who will get it the human way will be walking, talking people like me. And you're not like me, obviously, or you, but the point is you're a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. That's a technical verbiage. It's very straightforward because there's books out on it, and if you are it, you'll know how easy life is, and you don't use people. Love is not a game. Life is a game for us because we're not afraid of into the unknown. Where is it? Where is it? I'm not afraid. There's no siren that can keep me down. Who's keeping you? Where? The crab's in the bucket. Are you still competing like an insecure teenager? I was insecure too. I chose not to copy the mean ones because they were all pretending. I said, I have feelings, so do you. Why are you continuing to be like you're a dumbass? You're not dumb. I'm a dumb. You're not dumb. That's how I can just let you know, I'm not closing my heart because they're playing mean. They're pretending to be mean. So you don't whine the entirety and the rest of your life because of having had some people that were mean to you. I've been mean to some, because I'm not compassionate according to those who want me to pat them on the back. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm saying you're being viciously mean. Everybody deserves love. Why would you say that they don't deserve love? You're starting to sound really mean. This is making me uncomfortable due to the fact that I did promise Jesus that I would forgive and that I would turn the other cheek. I learned that I was casting a stone. I felt very upset. I did do some things that God forgave me for. Jesus did too. Right now with my oversoul, I don't need to do any of Energy Vampire Dark Aura because they're all my brothers and sisters and angels. Like my good Christian Catholic upbringing catechist taught me, we're all angels. There's no demons in anyone. And Patrick McNamara, the scientist, is proving it. I'm not proving anything. I'm just talking on a screen. So when people dehumanize other people, they're choosing a good side and a bad side. Only idiots follow people who choose what they like and don't like as their preferred topics of choices. And I did say the word idiot because I, again, don't want idiots here. Please appeasers come out of the woodwork from nowhere because they just want to belong to a group. I don't like that. Own your opinion. It's mine. No, it's yours. I have a subjective one. We can talk it out because why not? That's what intellectually smart people do. That's because we're emotionally mature and it's not personal once you get to your mid-20s, or at least that's what you think. Then you turn into 45-year-old and you continue seeing people who don't know how to have fun with jokes. Thank goodness we still have comedians. I was worried that they would get rid of them at some point. Instead, we were saved. We are in a earth that is on Dharma wheels, not karma wheels. But the karma people, they still think they're doing Dharma. They even name their children Dharma, and they don't do Dharma. You can always tell if someone's doing Dharma. Let's make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are children dying. We don't do divisiveness as we want everybody to get along. And it's a small world after all. And so anybody who doesn't like smile and giggles, bye. Go somewhere else, because you're the same people who dehumanize people based on your likes and dislikes, which is very much of an ignorant human being who's a 3-year-old. I'm a 3-year-old too. The difference is I know that there's air, water, and food. I really wish we would be taking care of that right now. Luckily for me, because I have faith in God and I am in communion with God, I do trust when I get downloads, and I have galactic beings right here with me and my future self. And it's like, hey, come on, we want to come. Yes, later, not now. So high five. At the end of the day, being an Akashic record reader, a Reiki master, a mystic, and spiritual, and having God, oh my God, it's amazing. So as messengers, we're not meant to wield our mouths based on our preferences of likes and dislikes. We're meant to let you understand where is that beautiful word that those who know what prophecy means speak forth mind and heart of God to encourage, comfort, challenge, or strengthen. I challenge all of you to achieve your ventral vagal state. Love is not a game. Life is not a game. I mean, yes, we can have fun with our personality patterns, temperament, and secure attached self-agents. We do not play and fuck around with humanity. So when I see a man play Russian roulette, what I do know is he's nothing more than entertainment for me and a buffoon, and that anybody who follows him, they can follow their leader, Peter Pan, because that's not how real people do it at all. And that's because I have a background where I did learn how it works. And that's why even if it's an ex-CIA agent telling you to make sure to watch your fucking back because everybody's selfish, that's another buffoon. Because seriously, did you really think that people who are so outspoken about watching their back know how to watch their back? I mean, the reality is they serve the people who don't understand. If you are so unclear of humanity and you think that they're all yucky that much, that's your number one red flag of your faith in humanity was broken. So something happened to where you were not able to cry it out like a Zen master, to forgive like Jesus taught, to smile like Buddha teaches us, and to sit in a meditative state while you process what it's called sadness, because we're bonding. Oh no, we didn't bond. Oh, I'm sorry, did you turn away? Oh yeah, my confidence didn't get eroded, but I do know you don't know how to commit to life or love. See you later, alligator. After a while, that's how an empowered feminine within her own self will behave throughout the entirety of as they ascend. And you know what happens? You find out that I left myself little rose petals along the way. So you don't dehumanize people because they turn their back on you. Et tu, Brute. You don't dehumanize anyone because there's no point. That just means you're very, very upset. So unless you don't know how to cry and to be angry and to be afraid, a healthy way, that means with the prefrontal. That's why 5D. I wondered who they were when I first began to hear the word. And then I saw 4D as they continued to think that we skipped 4D because they're in it. Magical thinking, they dress up. Their vehicles are just as beautiful as can be, but they have an amygdala ruling them, and their child parts are full of charges, and they want a good side and a bad side because unlike the sword and the rock, they don't understand their innocence yet because they didn't bring it back. So they get to keep thinking they might be the sword and the rock, but they're not truth tellers. They're just distorting messages based on that which they like and don't like. And like Peter Pan, they have a following of those who just feel safe because they're all with trauma charges and they want to go and punish the bystanders who hurt their feelings, which is also why they flip a switch. So they begin on this end of the spectrum, then they move on that end of the spectrum, then they might flip back, and then by the time they get to here, they might be ready to say, I regret therapists wasting my entire life, blah, 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 blah. And that's why therapists will say, you know what people regret the most of all? That they didn't do anything that they would have wanted to do. And I think, I watched a movie once. I didn't want to watch it. Had I known what it was, I wouldn't have watched it. And as the movie's ending, this is a real story, I say, what is a smile without sharing it with people? It took you that long, you little coward, to figure it out. And this human being actually did this thing. There's a man that welcomed him into his home, treated him like a son. He has no sons. Nobody wants anything to do with some. I forget the whole story, but long story short, he wants to adopt the human being. Human being comes from a trashy, shitty home, by the way. No, it's a rich home. Him and his sister are the only ones who get together. This is called trauma on a wheelhouse. Yeah, as I'm watching him throw his life away, I don't feel any kind of pity. I wasn't even attachment trauma informed. I was like, you're rejecting help here, 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 here. God's sending all of the things he can. Good family, good family, good family. You're still being an asshole. Good family, good. You're still an asshole. Good family. He gets to this old man's house. This old man who's smart, because, not all old men are, or women, or theys, anyone. He is, though. This guy tries to sneak out in the middle of the night instead of having the balls to say, thank you so much for your hospitality. I appreciate you so much, and I really wish I could say yes, but I'm committed to my journey. And so, no, I'm not going to say. Instead, what does he do? He sneaks out in the night, and the guy's waiting for him because that's how smart people work. It's like, so you want to try and get away from it? And the difference is, in this movie, this guy goes. And I'm so happy it's only a movie because I'm thinking I would have totally done the same thing. But remember I told you God kept me away? That's good. Very good. Because I wouldn't have been able to take away the stare of, So, let me see. Let me stare you down while I basically stare at a human being who doesn't know what respect means, because that's the minute of truth. So, thanks to attachment trauma educators, I'm humbled as a messenger, servant, you name what it is. Communion with God means that all of our brothers and sisters have the same capability. Then the scientists explain to you why they don't. So when I see 4D, 3D and their magical thinking, I get it. They don't know how to get out of it. But when they want to accuse each other and point fingers and continue to do unto others that which was done unto them and say it's all humanity, no, humanity ain't all fucked up. Nope, not at all. And actually, we're not all broken. Some people get fixed, some didn't get broken at all. And actually, some people do know how to thrive while being rejected as mystics and spiritual ones, and not be like, and the twin flame thing doesn't change it. You don't change it up. There's the fifth wave of twin flames. You know how disrespectful that is to the actual journey of an oversoul? That you're dehumanizing human beings, by the way, that So like this kid who, whatever it is, he got his house, he got food, and then what? You want to actually be able to, that's not. Now, I have all the compassion in the world for those who are healing, like Kylie. She's a narcissist who's healing. When she gets hate mail, I'll stand up for you, Kylie. I won't stand up for the lady who says, here's the spectrum. See, they don't change. Oh, my colleagues are against me. I'll be like, I'm going to go over with Kylie. And all of the ones who are healing stand in front of you. What did you come again? Did you say something? No one, what? Yeah, we don't change. We improve ourselves. What are you doing? You sound like my colleagues are against me. Mean girls. Anybody? I don't look up to envy, jealousy, spite. It's quite cringy and quite, and as they get older, they can have all the fancy clothes they want. Anybody who has a heart leading their way will know. Don't dehumanize people. It's not nice. You can say you're upset. That's fair and square. You're upset. You didn't get justice. Yes, who's not getting justice right now? bunch of other kids aren't going to get justice. So when somebody wants to bring their suffering pain point, it's not going to create justice. You're just going to do unto others, and that's what the divisiveness is all about. So meantime, here at IHP, we don't divide, but you better bet not everybody likes those of us who say, we don't pat you on the back, we don't thumbs up you and thumbs down you, and if you close the door, well, sayonara, alligator, if that's how you want it. I'm not really going to make it into my mission to try and be in your herd. I got a herd. And we don't do things with this ridiculous adaptive child, black and white thinking, and not knowing how to repair ruptures and splinters. Like Michael Yapko points out, most people can hang out. It's not that bad. And even those who are that bad, they end up in prison, by the way, all of them. And really, I look forward to there being good therapists in prisons. So you don't dehumanize people. When you say you love people, you don't turn your back on them, because that's a coward's game. The only ones who hide themselves away, they don't know. Thank you for confirmation. The art of connection. There's Terry Real out there for anybody who wants to learn how to be a grown up. As he points out, adaptive child part people, they do this. They fight, or they flee, or they fix, or they save. Nobody needs saving, and you don't need to fix, and stop playing pretend. So when people want to play pretend, the mystics who are with their magical batons, we don't save people. That was one of the saddest things you'll ever find out, even as a mystic and a spiritual one, when you tap into your oversoul and you know what's going on, and you can help, and you can help, and you can. Doesn't matter. If they choose to follow that shame stuff, there you go. Bye, Cusco. Bye, Cusco. Bye, Cusco. And there you go. There's another one who hit the dust because they chose not to take seriously some smart scientists, and they decided that they knew everything. Stagnation, not fun to watch, and not funny to be blaming a monster that doesn't exist, because the family in the head comes from one's own head. You're a human body. You have it. You have the human body. So your soul is still there, but the human body, like Bezo Van Rickel points out, trauma is not something that happened in the past. It's something that taints that which is your entire life, and until you meet an experience that is different from that which you lived, you won't know any better. I can't find the quote, but you have heard it before. So we'll be back with more. Again, it's very beautiful to see that the scientists are around, because they know what they're doing. So do the 5D collective of mystic spiritual ones. So it's going to be fun as we get to hang out, and we have some more topics, as yes, the energies are about again, and this time for those of us who are expanding, it's going to be one hell of a ride in a fun way, rising from the phoenix ashes without having fallen rock bottom. We don't need to. We don't actively need to. Some have fallen and they got up and they stayed up. That's the beauty of it. But they don't drag around the fallen on. They say, hey, we did it all together. Look, we're all weirdos over here. We're all different. We can work it out. Yeah, but with Ventral energy. So Care Bears, attack. Smurfs, go get Gargamel. Attack him. Have him tickle him so he can laugh some, because he's really bored. See you later.